Hello everybody, Brian here from quantlabs.net. Okay, so I got some questions from a customer regarding some indicators that I'm working with. Now I'm basing these on a few years of experience. What we'll do is we'll go through these and one by one. Okay, so this is a question. Here's a link I came across as Visual Capitalist Technical, 12 types of technical indicator stocks. I've used these indicators in my time, my understanding, to have a balance of leading and lagging indicators. If you're going to use, well, I guess from my point of view, if you're going to use lagging, sometimes you might want to use those for confirmation. So for some of those, I am watching with the two bots that I'm developing now. One is a sub-minute, which is really tick data, and those are only available through Binance Futures. The other one is 1 minute, 30 minute, and I'll show those in another video. So let's talk about these. The first ones are the leading. I'll show you which ones I'm currently working on. That has been showing some promise in the last few days. This one is the Stochastic Rsi. I have used Stochastic on its own. I do and always use RSI. This would be an interesting combination. But I do think that RSI on its own, relative strength index, is quite good. No matter what asset class, no matter what time frame you're watching, OBV is basically, let me look it up here, I can't remember, well, I'll leave it at that. OBV is based around volume on balance, I think it's called, or I haven't had a lot of success with this one. I did check that on tick data yesterday using OBV. The problem with OBV is it's good for confirmation, but you're going to see that volume anyways in your bar data, or you can also see it in the bid or ask volume as well. Chalkin oscillator is pretty good. And again, a good tip for those that are watching, if you want to really experiment, see which ones work really well, I would strongly recommend you look at Motive Wave because you're able to, with the studies out of box, there's a couple of hundred of them, you can quickly look at charts, and I've shown this in my Motive Wave playlist, video playlist on YouTube. You can be able to watch how quick you're able to assess if a critical study indicator works. And I've already gone through a list of them for the tick data. I'm not sure if I'll do a video on that, but I have confirmation from somebody who is part of a insider at let's say an insider who's confirmed a lot of theories for me, and I might actually do a whole video on that. So Chalkin oscillator is pretty good, but I'm still lagging for some reason. I don't have these problems with RSI. So in my next video, I'll show you which ones that have come up that I like, and one of them's already mentioned this video here. So lagging MACD, that's okay. Again, when you say lagging, like I said, they're more confirmation. Bollinger Bands, they're okay. One that I like is standard deviation because that's kind of what Bollinger Bands are kind of based off on the upper and lower band. ATR is a whole league on its own. That's pretty well the standard go-to for exit strategies. I actually may resort to that in one of the bots I'm designing. Right now it's just using another indicator, and I'll talk about more of that in the next video. ADX, again, for average directional index, I've checked, again, lags, and it's okay for confirmation, and same with this parabolic SAR as well. So they're just for confirmation. But by the time, again, depending upon your time frame, when I say confirmation, it's like, even if it's a minute, a second behind, as a lot of these lagging, like whatever's going to happen has already happened. And it just depends what you're using them for, but that's why I like to use the word confirmation. And as I said, some of these may fall under that, these two, but RSI's always worked. Another one that I like is rate of change as well. but let's talk about some other ones. So here, candlesticks, and I'm basing on that on technical analysis library, TALib. I have tried I've tried a lot of them. The only one that seems to kind of work, but it has failed me now with crypto, is Maribuzu. That one used to work well, but with this business of range bound, it just doesn't work. Now here I've been working a lot with Fibonacci retracement. I like Fibonacci as well. Fibonacci's are very good. You have the classic 618 level for entry. It can work, and when you put on the position, you wait it out for the next level. A lot of times the volume is not strong enough to be able to push that entry position up enough to get you out of when it hits that next level or the level 1 or 100. So that can be a problem there. The other problem with Fibonacci is if you look at the historical performance of, let's say, Bitcoin and how it's been in a tank for so long, you're waiting and waiting when it hits the 500, then you wait for the 618, but you're missing all that activity when the price is below the level 500. So that's one of the other disadvantages with Fibonacci. Again, it's good for placing support and resistance, but again, it all depends upon your time frame. I think it works pretty well for things like overnight position holds. So if you're doing daily, Fibonacci can be really good for that, and probably same with candlesticks as well. But when it comes to intraday or day trading, I would have difficulty with any of them based upon my experience. So here's a mention of one that is interesting, is the Kaufman Adaptive Moving Average. That is actually one of the indicators that I've come across thanks to both TALib, and again, you can get that in my Python course, TALib and the experience of it. And not only that, but I've also confirmed through MotiveWave as well that this KAMA or KAMA, I guess you could call it, can work, but it's, maybe I might show you in the other video, but I just don't, there's a better one out there that works really well that I'm kind of testing right now called APO, which looks decent, but I might combine that with ATR as well for the exit on one of the new bots that I'm designing, so I'll show that. But this KAMA is pretty good. There's other ones that are even better for these adaptive moving averages. There's one called MESA Adaptive Moving Average, so it's known as MAMA from John Ehler. That one looks really, really good, but I haven't tested the performance of it. It's not that difficult to code up, but just call me lazy. This one, Ichimoku, is quite good actually, but to try to code that up in Python is a tough one to do. So that's something I wouldn't venture into. But if you do get it in MotiveWave, and I found that one is quite good actually, and I relied on Ichimoku quite a bit, and I really liked it. But from a programming standpoint, it's a tough one to code up. And again, it's just understand, do you want to put the effort and lost time of a few days to code something up like this Ichimoku or this one I mentioned, Mama, and then it doesn't work out? That's why I like using MotiveWave, because you can see it right out of the gate if it works or not. So that's pretty well some of these which do and don't work, but I'll talk about some of the ones that I'm seeing that seem to work in these two other bots that I'm working on now. But thanks for asking. It's good to share. Thanks. We'll talk to you later.